Greetings and hello, Waynesville Yoga family. How are you today? Welcome. My name is Renee, and this class is Flow and Align. And so for today's class, we are going to focus in on functional alignment. And with functional alignment, the principle here is just making sure that in each of our postures, we are specifically targeting certain areas of the muscle to maximize our stretch, maximize our flexibility. So we are going to be doing more yin-like holds in certain poses, making sure that we are getting the most out of the muscles that we are targeting. So with that being said, one really wonderful thing about alignment and functional alignment is as we focus in and we're targeting in on these muscles, we are training our body to get into our postures in ways that really maximize and get the best benefit out of the posture possible without overworking, overtaxing our bodies. So we are working smarter. We are not working harder in our practice. And that just, in my opinion, enables us to enjoy ourselves that much more when we practice our yoga, hopefully on a daily basis, but as much as possible, as much as you have time for during the week. So before we get started, just my typical usual housekeeping issues, just gonna run through them very quickly. First of all, props. Particularly with practices like today, when we're focusing in on stretching and long holds, props are really important and really key. Of course, you're always welcome to opt out of props. They are absolutely not required. But one thing that props do help you do as you move from one level to the next, which is the purpose of this class, right? It's to help you advance from beginner to intermediate, intermediate to advanced, or if you're already advanced, to move into, deeper postures, maybe different aspects of a particular pose. So props are absolutely useful for that because they will help you find your body's positioning within a posture without overtaxing, overstraining your body. Things like the blocks are going to raise the floor up to you. Same with bolsters and blankets and things like this. They're just really super useful for helping you find your body in a pose, particularly if it's a pose that you're new to. Very, very useful. So that being said, with our props, I always just recommend what I call the big three. And these are just such great tools because they can be used in just about every pose. There are a variety of really wonderful tools out there. There's yoga wheels and yoga wedges and all kinds of different things. But these three are really, really useful and helpful for helping you maximize your movement within the postures. So first of all, as I mentioned, the yoga block, wonderful tool, just a great all around. You can use it for height, you can use it for length and support. If you don't have standard yoga blocks, just anything of rough size and shape will work. Just make sure that it's sturdy. It's not going to be anything that's going to crush down when you put your weight on it. So you want to just make sure that it's something that's going to be able to prop you up. But these are just wonderful tools. And if there's any one yoga tool prop that I recommend having, it's the blocks, because these will substitute for just about anything. All right, our next is our yoga blanket. Wonderful, wonderful tool for cushioning knees. If you find that you have pain in your knees when you're in like a tabletop position, really great to utilize the blanket for that. Also great for rolling up and using as like a neck roll, or you can fold or use one or two to give you height if you need a little height in the hips or in a particular pose, but you don't necessarily want the height of a bolster. Also really great to have at the end of practice if you tend to get chilly in Shavasana. always great to have an extra blanket or two to snuggle up in and keep you warm during your final rest, because you want to be as comfortable and as relaxed as possible. And if being warm and snuggled up helps you do that, the blanket is perfect for that. Again, it doesn't have to be that particular blanket, just any old blanket will do. And then lastly, your yoga bolster. These are wonderful tools for, as I mentioned earlier, getting height in the hips, especially if you're like in a sitting position. Also really great for supported bridge or legs up a wall. Really super great for that. So they're really used for height. Bolsters are sturdy cushions. So if you don't have an actual bolster, I recommend something like a couch cushion as a substitute, as opposed to a standard pillow, because what you don't want is to sink down into the support. You want to make sure that the support is going to be something that's going to hold you up. So those are the big three that I recommend, and just great to have on hand, have them handy within arm's reach. So if you get into a posture and you find that you want to have the support of a tool, it's there for you. And then of course, music. During our practices, video practices, we do not have music. However, I highly recommend that if you have a playlist or something that fuels your practice and really helps you focus and get into your class, absolutely play your playlist and have that going in the background. I am a huge fan of music during practice. I know it helps fuel me. One thing I really love, and those of you who come to my live classes, you've heard my playlist, you know that I absolutely love to have music of all varieties going. That being said, please do have your music handy, have it available during your practice, but be sure that you have your device handy, because towards the end of our practice, I will be doing a guided relaxation, a yoga nidra practice at the end during our final rest. So you want to be sure to have your music handy so you can just turn that down and you can hear the sound of my voice. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and get started. We are going to begin in easy seat position. And for me, I am going to utilize a bolster and sit up on the bolster today. My hips are feeling a little bit tight, so this helps me open up my hips a little bit more when I'm starting to a practice. So let's just go ahead and find our easy seat. Of course, if you prefer not to sit on a bolster, you're more than welcome to sit on a blanket or a block, even just right on the floor, whatever works best for you. And as we settle in to this practice today, I invite you to close your eyes. If you prefer not to close your eyes, just soften your gaze. Just begin to focus in on your breath. And begin to feel your breath lengthen on the inhale and the exhale. Just take this moment right now to just notice the quality of your breath. Are you feeling anxious? Are you breathing rapidly? Just use this time to focus in on that breath. Get it nice and even. And you'll start to feel your whole body relax. The breath and the body and the mind all connected. And when you calm that breath, you'll feel your mind and your body start to calm as well. Go ahead and take a nice, deep, long inhale. And a nice, long, audible exhale. One more time. Deep inhale. Nice audible exhale. And as you begin to focus in and become aware of your breath and your body, and just bringing your attention and your awareness to yourself on this mat in this moment right now, go ahead and just take those few little seconds to tuck away your to-do lists, any little bits and pieces that are just hanging on in the back of your mind. You know what? They'll be there at the end of this hour, so just use this time for you. Just take those things, roll them up like socks, tuck them into your shoes, and just go ahead and slide those shoes just right outside the door and close that door right behind it. Just let it go. Go ahead and begin to introduce the Ujjayi breathing into your inhales and exhales, and just feel that oceanic, hollow quality of the breath come in and go out. Just start to awaken those inner senses. Start to generate a little bit of heat in the chest. Prepare the body for movement. Prepare the mind. And in this moment, I invite you to set an intention for your practice today. It can be a goal, can be a thought, just something that fuels you today, moves you today, whether it be this hour, this day, this week, this month, whatever it may be. Just focus in on your intention. Welcome that intention into your body. Really integrate it into your mind. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Beautiful. And on your next inhale, just start to slowly open the eyes and bring in the colors of the room. As you breathe in, next time go ahead and raise those arms up to the sky, and then exhale them on down. And remember, as you raise your arms up, and just follow this movement to your natural breath, as you get to the top of that movement, just check your shoulders, check what your body's doing. What's your default here? Beautiful, and exhale down. Go ahead and inhale up, and on your next exhale, take your right arm and place it either on your support or on the floor, and just lean over to the right side. Now, remember to plant that left hip so you're feeling that stretch all along the left side body. You don't want to lift up and roll. The intention here is to warm up these muscles by focusing in. This is part of that functional alignment. Feel that movement. Purposefully align your body to feel that movement. Notice where the shoulder is. Make sure the shoulder isn't over here or over here. You want that nice long stretch right along the ear. Beautiful. Inhale up. Just take a moment and just notice the warmth, difference in the left side of the body. Beautiful. Go ahead and inhale. Arm up. Exhale over to the side. And again, remember your alignment. Watch that hip. Watch that shoulder. Watch that arm alignment. Beautiful. Feel that stretch. Make sure you're feeling the stretch here. Make whatever adjustments in your body that you need to. And again, this is another one of those situations where the prop may absolutely come in handy. So if you are finding the support too short of a length to get deep into that position, but the floor too far away, bring over your block or your blanket. Utilize that support. Beautiful. Remember, always maintain that nice tight core. Don't let the belly just kind of flop out. You always want to maintain that tight core because that's going to keep your spine straight, healthy, nice long lines. Beautiful. Go ahead and inhale, back up. As you exhale, bring your hands back down. Beautiful job. Go ahead and inhale the arms up. And on your exhale, twist over to your right. And just a nice gentle twist. Still warming up the core, still warming up the abs in the back. So you don't want to be too aggressive with your twist. But you want to make sure that you're maintaining that nice, tight core. Your shoulders are nice and square. Breathing into that twist and feeling those muscles warm. And again, don't compensate or compromise the posture. Come up and twist. You want to raise up on the inhale, twist on the exhale, very gently. Beautiful. As you inhale, go ahead and unwind to center. Just exhale here. Go ahead and inhale those arms up. And then exhale and twist over to your other side. Remember, I'm not mirroring, so just go ahead and twist to your natural left or right. Beautiful. Nice long spine, square shoulders, hips are both very firmly planted. Chin is up, and if possible, your head is turned. Couple more breaths here. Beautiful. And as you inhale, go ahead and twist towards middle, and then exhale and settle in. Beautiful job. Let's just go ahead and just take a couple of shoulder rolls here. Just inhale those shoulders up and exhale them down the back. Just a couple to your breath. And after you do 2 or 3 one way, just go ahead and do 2 or 3 the other. Just loosening out any of those last minute kinks that may be in the neck. Releasing any last second tension. Get that out of there. Beautiful. Now find stillness in the shoulders. When you're ready, go ahead and roll over to hands and knees. And you're going to want to slide your support out of the way if you're utilizing one. I'm going to turn to the side here. Again, use your blanket under your knees if you find that you need more cushion. For those knees can be very, very sensitive sometimes. So go ahead and find your blanket, get comfy. And then once you're in your tabletop, remember your alignment here. We've got wrists and shoulders in alignment, knees and hips in alignment. Beautiful. Nice tight core, nice long line along the spine. Excellent. Inhale and drop that belly and raise that chin. Exhale to cat. Cat-cow is a wonderful ab warmer, back warmer, shoulder warmer. Just one of the great postures to introduce your practice with, because it really opens up this channel right in here. Just really gets that body warm and moving. Take a few rounds on your own. Few rounds and inhale, exhale. Just really feel that back warming up, abs warming up. Remember again, keeping those abs nice and contracted. Beautiful. Now find stillness. Nice neutral spine. Then on your next inhale, firmly plant your hands. And then inhale that right leg out. Now when you inhale this leg out, be sure, remember, you're not raising up the hip. You want to keep your hips nice and square. The action is in the abs. Just go ahead and stretch out that leg. Feel the action in the abs. If you're ready, you can raise that opposite arm. Nice long spine. And then on the exhale, go ahead and bring it down. And then repeat on the other side, starting first with that leg. Hip bones are down. Back is nice and straight, abs contracted. Feeling that action in the abs. This is actually a really excellent core strengthener. Go ahead, when you're ready, raise that arm. Action is in the core and in the back. You're going to feel it here and here, and that's good. Beautiful. Breathe here. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring it on down on the exhale. And then just take a moment, sink those hips back into child's pose. Stretch out that low back. And come back up to hands and knees on the inhale. And then on the exhale, walk those hands forward. Hips and knees stay in the position they're at and come to puppy pose. Some of you that have that length in the shoulders, you can bring your chin to the mat. Otherwise, forehead. You're also welcome to use a support here if you want to. If you need, you can use the block under the forehead. As an option if your forehead does not reach the ground. Beautiful. And really stretch out those shoulders. Feel that action in the shoulders for that nice deep stretch. It's also going to warm up and get that blood flowing back there. Beautiful. And from here, those of you who want a little bit of a deeper stretch, you can bring your hands to prayer and bring your hands up behind the nape of your neck. Just an option. Get a little bit of a deeper stretch. Not a requirement, just an option. Whatever your body is calling for. Sometimes, you find a pose, and I know this happens to me. You find a pose and you're just like, oh, that is the stuff right there. Beautiful. A couple more breaths here. Nice long hold here. Stretch out those shoulders and those arms. We're opening up this upper channel. Beautiful. On your next inhale, you're going to walk the hands back up into your tabletop position. Now you might want to bring your knees just a hair farther apart for this easy twist. Sometimes it feels a little better on the back for the twisting position to have your knees a little bit wider apart. So go ahead and plant that left hand, bring it a little bit more towards center, plant that left hand, and then inhale that right arm up to the sky. Beautiful, breathe here. And really feel that twist action in the shoulders, in the waist, in the core area. Really feel that twist action and breathe. Maintain the action of the abs. Never let the abs sink. The abs always must stay nice and firm. Beautiful. And exhale and bring it on down. Now bring your right hand just a little bit more towards the center, and not all the way, but just towards it. And then inhale on up. The other side. Beautiful. Oh, feels so good. Breathe here. Beautiful job. And then go ahead and exhale on down. And then one last time, go ahead and sink back into child's pose. Make sure your arms are forward. Really stretch out those shoulders. Beautiful job. Now you want to make sure that you have your blocks, if you're utilizing them, nearby. Again, not required, but just have them handy because you may want to utilize them in the next series here. So go ahead in your tabletop, tuck those toes, plant those hands, lift those hips, and come into your first down dog of the day. And then just take a moment and pedal on out the feet. Warm up those ankles. Beautiful. You may want to take a few heels up and down just to warm up the ankles, warm up the calves, the hamstrings. Beautiful. And then find stillness. Then on your next inhale, bring your left leg a little bit more towards center and raise that right leg up to the sky. And then exhale through for low lunge. Now again, here, you may want to bring your blocks for support, not required. Then your low lunge, you really want to sink into that hip flexor. Really sink into it. Beautiful. And what you don't want to do is compromise the upper body. That's why blocks here sometimes are really good. I have kind of shorter arms, so for me, I can either go to the floor or use blocks, but I like to kind of use the blocks sometimes to really focus in on that hip flexor. Beautiful. Just breathe here. Just breathe into that hip. And now you want to make sure your hip bones are forward. Sometimes when we're in these asymmetrical poses, we tend to bias to one side, so you want to make sure you're not doing that and you're maximizing that hip flexor stretch on the left side. Beautiful. Breathe here. Excellent. Now go ahead and tuck that toe and raise that back leg. So you're in kind of a modified low lunge. Beautiful. Now hold here. Still working that hip flexor, but now we're also introducing some strengthening in here. Beautiful. Core is tight. Excellent. Go ahead and bring that knee down. Move your blocks just a little bit off to the side. And then come back, sink back into those hips. Straighten out that front leg and come into half Hanuman. Beautiful. Really feel that hip flexor. Stretch it out. Feels amazing. Beautiful. Breathe and hold here. And here you may want to reintroduce those blocks again. We're going to introduce some movement here. So as we inhale, move forward, and exhale, we're going to dip into that hip flexor. We're going to inhale up, and then we're going to exhale into that hamstring. Beautiful. Inhale up. Exhale, hip flexor. Inhale up. Exhale, hamstrings. Beautiful. Again, have a nice straight back. When you have a nice flat back, it really puts the focus in on the hamstrings in this position, because otherwise, if you compromise the back, you're doing this, you're not getting the most out of the pose. You're not maximizing that flexibility. So make sure you've got nice tight core. And again, utilize your props. If arms don't reach the floor, or if you find yourself having to compromise the upper body or any of the other aspects of the posture, introduce your props. Beautiful. Now come on back up to a neutral position. Lean into those blocks. Bring that leg back. Come into your tabletop. Beautiful. And just notice the difference between the right and left sides. Quite a marked difference. All right. Let's go ahead and tuck those toes. Lift those hips. Come back into your down dog. Breathe here, nice tight core. Now go ahead and raise that left leg up to the sky. Your inhale. And as you exhale, swing it on through for low lunge. Again, grab your props if needed. And sink into that hip flexor. Make whatever adjustments you need to really focus that action on that hip flexor. We want to make sure this is, our functional alignment. We're making sure that we are aligned in such a way that we're maximizing the stretch here. Beautiful. Sink into that and breathe. Are you feeling that stretch elsewhere? If you're not feeling it in your hip flexor, make adjustments. Find your prop. Move your leg. Stretch it out. Beautiful job. A few more breaths here. Again, nice tight core. Maintain the integrity of the core. You're always, always, always working the core. Go ahead and inhale up. And then exhale back into your half Hanuman. And again, maintaining the integrity of the core. Focusing that stretch on the hamstring. Beautiful job. Breathe into that stretch. Breathe into that hamstring. Beautiful. Now as you inhale, go ahead and grab your supports if you want. I'm going to introduce that movement again on this side. So as we inhale, sinking into that hip flexor. Exhaling down. Beautiful. Then go ahead and inhale up. Then exhale back into Ardha Hanuman. And inhale up. Exhale down into your low lunge. Maintaining that integrity of the core. Inhaling up. And exhaling deeply into Hanuman. Beautiful. Now exhaling back to a neutral low lunge, tucking that back foot and raising that leg. Introducing the strengthening here. Breathe into that posture. Don't compromise the integrity of the core. Nice straight lines in the body. Beautiful. Go ahead and drop that knee down. Lean into your props. Bring that leg back. Slide your props over to the side. And then just take a moment. Sink into child's pose. Neutralize up those hips. Come back to hands and knees. Tuck those toes. Lift those hips. Down dog. Inhale the right leg up. Then go ahead and exhale it through for pigeon. And now here for pigeon, this is where some might want a support under this hip. If you're not finding the ground here with your hip, you're gonna wanna bring the floor to it. So grab a blanket, tuck it under here, but also make sure that you are finding the stretch in the outer hip and in that left hip flexor, and that you're not dumping to either one side or the other to lessen the intensity of that stretch. Beautiful. You want to raise that upper body up, breathe in, keep that core nice and tight. You're welcome to utilize your supports if you'd like. Bring your blocks in if you find you want your blocks. Really focus in. What are we stretching here? We're stretching outer hip on the right, hip flexor on the left. What adjustments do you need to make that happen? And if you're finding that your outer hip is not getting the best stretch possible, you can go ahead and kind of move that right ankle up towards your left wrist and just increase that line of your shin becoming more and more parallel to the top of the mat. Just depends on how much flexibility you have in those outer hips. Breathe here. We're going to be here for several rounds of breath. So get nice and comfy. And we're staying in an upright position to really maximize that hip flexor stretch on the left side. Beautiful. Breathe here. plant those hands, and on your next inhale, go ahead and press firmly into your hands. Come back up to hands and knees. And go ahead and tuck those toes, lift those hips, and come into down dog. And go ahead and inhale up, raise that left leg up to the sky. And as you exhale, exhale into pigeon on the other side. Ooh, that feels so good. Again, bring your support, your blanket around to the other hip if your hip is not finding the floor. Also, if you're finding the floor and you're not really feeling that stretch in the outer hip, go ahead and bring this leg more parallel. Bring the left ankle more parallel to the top of the mat. Everybody's a little different, and you might notice that your two sides are different. Let's breathe here. Again, you're welcome to use your supports. You want to make sure you're maintaining. We're upright because we're focusing in on this hip flexor, and you want to make sure that you are maintaining the integrity of the core. So if you find it better to utilize the props to help you really deepen and focus that action, do it. Beautiful job. Breathe here, several rounds of breath. Excellent job. So go ahead and slide those supports out of the way. Utilizing your blocks, plant those hands, tuck that back toe, and swing that left leg back. And go ahead and sink those hips down just for a moment. Release the lower back, neutralize those hips. Maybe take a little bit of a roll left and right. And then come back up to hands and knees. And then let's come to a seat. And bring your legs to a straddle position. And so here, you want to find a nice wide leg forward fold. And if you find it that you need a little height in the hips, you can go ahead and sit on a blanket just to introduce a little bit of height in the hips. That will help you get a little bit wider. A wide leg forward fold on either side. Beautiful. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, go ahead and lean forward. Now, if you want, you might want to introduce your prop here and bring your bolster in as a support to lean down on. You're welcome to grab at both the ankles, focusing in on that inner thigh. So a couple of things to keep in mind. When you're leaning forward, body is nice, long, tall. So you've got a nice flat back going into the fold. That's one. Secondly, you want to make sure that you are finding your edge in your inner thigh. That's where the action of the stretch is. It's in the inner thigh. So if you're feeling it in your back, or so maybe you want to raise up your hips a little bit so you're not feeling that action in your back, but you should be feeling that stretch. The stretch is in the inner thigh. Beautiful. And just breathe here. Excellent job. And then you'll find as you hold these postures, as with many of the postures, as you hold them for an extended period of time, You're going to find that you can lengthen and deepen just a little bit more. So just explore that during the course of holding the pose. And you're always welcome, you know, this is a video. Go ahead and pause it and hold this posture for a little bit longer. If you find you need a little bit more time in a pose, always welcome to pause and just hold here for a few moments, a few extra moments. Beautiful job. And then when you're ready, go ahead and inhale, walk those hands up. And then come to a nice upright seated position, keeping those feet spread apart, still in our saddle position. Gonna take your right arm and reach out to the right and grab that foot. Then inhale and then exhale on over. Beautiful. Now if you can't reach the foot, that's okay. Just go as deep as you can in that pose and get that nice, maintain the hip here on the ground. Make sure the hip stays on the ground. You're still getting an inner thigh stretch, but now you're also getting a side stretch. And I love this pose. I love it. You're also going to feel it in your hamstring as well. So you're getting a nice leg stretch over here along with the side. Beautiful. Bring that arm down. Slowly come up to center. And then inhale, arms up, and then exhale. Left arm down towards that foot. Grab it if you can. And then stretch it on over. And again, making sure that that hip stays down. And you're getting the stretch, the leg, the inner thigh, side body. Beautiful. Breathe here. And go ahead and inhale and bring it back to center. Beautiful. So let's transition on down to our back and begin to wind down for our final rest. So go ahead and slide your support out of the way, or you're welcome to keep your blanket there if you'd like, if you want a little bit of lift in the lower back. Go ahead and just lower on down. Bring those feet flat to the floor. And then bring them out, bring your feet out as wide as the mat on either side. And then let your knees just come in. So you're making like a little tent with your knees, and just feel that lower back release. Beautiful. And just breathe here for a moment. Beautiful job. Then go ahead and bring those feet back, sort of parallel with the hip bones. And then take your right leg up to the sky. And then bring it over the left knee. And go ahead and reach up for a recline pigeon. Releasing those hips and that lower back. Foot back down on the floor. Go ahead and switch sides. Breathe into that stretch. Beautiful job. Feel those hips release. That lower back release. Breathe into it. And then go ahead and bring the feet back to the floor. And then tuck your toes a little bit closer to your bum. Prepare for bridge. And then go ahead and inhale those hips up. And then go ahead as you inhale those arms up and overhead. And then exhale down. Just a little fluid movement here at the end. And inhaling up. Exhaling down. One last time. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Beautiful. Go ahead and hug those knees into the chest for just a moment. And then bring those knees back parallel to your hips. And then as you exhale, go ahead and dip your knees over to one side, right or left, getting a nice twist here. Look over that opposite shoulder. Breathe into that twist. Nice, deep, long breaths. Go ahead and inhale up. And then exhale over to the other side. Getting a nice, deep twist. Looking over that opposite shoulder. That nice release, breathe into it. Excellent job. Go ahead and inhale back to center. And squeeze, squeeze, squeeze those knees into the chest. And then as you exhale, exhale those feet up to the sky. Just really quick legs up a wall. Rebalancing, recirculating that blood flow throughout the body. Let it just move through you. Beautiful. And then one last inhale here and take whatever last little organic movements you may need in this moment as you prepare for your final rest. Let's all meet in Apanasana, knees squeezed into the chest. And then as you exhale, go ahead and exhale long into Shavasana or whatever your final resting position may be. And just take a moment to just release all of the muscles of the body. And sink into the floor and allow the ground to support you. Close your eyes. Maybe even grab an eye pillow. Maybe snuggle up in a blanket. And just release and let go. As you lay down with your eyes closed, very gently become aware of your breath. Fill your lungs with a nice deep inhale, bringing in light and energy and vitality and strength. And as you exhale, just feel those qualities just ignite every molecule within your body as you exhale. Just breathing in strength, warmth, beauty. And as you exhale, you feel it just fill every molecule, every sensation, warming every sensation in your body. Inhale in energy and vitality. Exhale out any toxins. Feel them just leave your body. And just stay with this breath and just focus in on bringing in positivity, courage, exhaling out doubt, negativity. And as you release the breath and that focus on the breath, you become very aware of the tingling and the warmth and that warming energy that is just filling your entire body. Feel that light of vitality just shining over you. Just feel your body filled with this energy and healing. Warming from the crown of the head, through the forehead, to the cheeks, the jaw, the neck. Warmth and vitality and energy is filling your shoulders, your arms, your wrists, your hands. You feel it pass through your chest and into your abdomen. The warmth fills your hips and thighs, knees and shins, all the way down through your ankles and toes. Now your body is just filled with this crystallizing, shining, ever-expanding warmth and energy. And as you breathe it in, you breathe in this beautiful light, this beautiful energy. And as you exhale, you feel it encompass your entire body. And as you sink into this warmth, just release any lasting tensions you may be holding in your shoulders or in your arm, your back. Let the ground, let the earth support you, hold you up. Just breathe here in this ball of relaxation, peace, and calm. inhale. Start to bring life back into the body. Begin by wiggling those fingers and wiggling the toes. And when you're ready, circle those wrists and those ankles. And when you're really ready, go ahead and inhale and stretch your body long all the way from the tips of the fingertips all the way down through the toes. And as you release that stretch, go ahead and curl to one side, whether it be the right or the left. Just hold here for a moment and integrate in everything that you took in today. Go ahead and take your top arm and press it into the earth and bring yourself up to an easy seat. And here you're welcome to keep your eyes closed or just soften your gaze. If you want, you can either keep your hands on your knees or bring your hands to heart center. Just take this moment to just notice how your body feels. The sensations, the thoughts. Go ahead and I invite you in this moment to revisit your intention and to thank yourself for taking this time out of the day for you and you alone to promote your health and your vitality, your well-being, and your spirit. And I want to thank you for taking time to practice with me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time.